And time now for a look at your weather forecast, Brittany. It felt like summer again today outside today, and I love that I didn't see any rain today.
Yeah, we only saw a few very isolated storms, which was expected, only that 20% chance. But of course, a bigger storm that's been a big talker online for the last few days, of course, is Hurricane Erin. Right now, the storm's still 1,500 miles away from us here in the Carolinas. And what's the latest with Erin? Well, it's a Category 5 hurricane. In fact, rapidly intensifying overnight. Rapid intensification is a wind increase of 35 miles an hour or greater within a 24-hour period. Erin had a wind increase between 85 and 90 miles per hour. So rapid intensification on a much greater scale. And we talk about this a lot when it comes to hurricanes. Because of warm ocean water temperatures and less wind shear, which is the current setup, rapid intensification was expected and has become more common over the past decade or so. High resolution intensity here with satellite. You can see the explosion here of the pink coloring, which is an explosion of storms in the southwestern center there of Erin, as well as on the back end here with some of those storms moving over parts of Puerto Rico there. And so we're going to see more impacts there for the islands, especially on the southern side from heavy rain and gusty winds, but of course not expecting a direct impact. Erin right now at 160 miles an hour, one of the greatest numbers they've been at so far, expecting that storm to stay within a Category 5 strength at least through tomorrow night, and then eventually will start to fizzle closer to a Category 4, eventually a 3 heading into the early part of this upcoming week. Now, are we going to have any impacts here in the Carolinas? No direct impacts, but indirect impacts will be expected. If you're with us earlier this week, the close proximity of Erin, especially in the Outer Banks of North Carolina, because the Outer Banks, of course, jut out, will likely see elevated wave heights, some minor beach erosion, and of course an increase there in rip currents. But notice the center is still hundreds of miles away from anyone toward land. The center is going to pass somewhere between the Carolinas and Bermuda as it eventually heads out to sea. Again, we've been talking about this for days now, model consistency, that storm stays away from the U.S. But anyone across the eastern seaboard will likely have those impacts, of course, from increased wave heights. This is the potential over the next 5 days of seeing tropical storm force wind. We have less than 10% for those Outer Bank communities. So again, it will get gusty. We'll start to see those increasing wave heights, but no direct impacts here in the Carolinas. Here's that center of wave heights here. I'm going to pause it at their highest risk, which is going to be Tuesday night and heading into the middle part of Wednesday. Again, at that closest proximity, 10 to 15 feet there for some of those wave heights near the Outer Banks. And of course, you can see that does continue all across the eastern seaboard. But again, no direct impacts here in the United States. Satellite and radar tracking a little bit of rain action, mainly south and west of Charlotte. I have one storm there still sitting near Lake Wylie and a couple storms up in the mountains and foothills. Most of this dries out over the next 2 hours, and then we're mostly dry again to kick off Sunday with very few isolated storms again in the afternoon. Notice the overall coverage is limited, but those who do see storms can produce heavy rain at times. Something that has been a lot higher the past few days is this mold count because of the increase in rain and of course the increase in standing water, and of course the skeeter meter has been off the charts as well. Very typical when we're under a very wet pattern as we have been as of late. Here's that 7-day forecast. Only thing that changes heading into tomorrow is that temperatures are going to be a little bit warmer. Still with that 20% chance of rain. Same song and dance on Monday with better rain chances by the end of the week and heading into next weekend.